What's up, fellas? Teen Tutor in the house here, and we are going to finish finding the zeros of the problem we had in part 1. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, please watch it now, because none of this will make sense to you. But if you've seen part 1, then you are in the right spot. We are now going to finish this problem. So this is in factored form, and again, the original equation was x cubed minus 8x squared plus 25x minus 26. So now what we need to do is we need to set this equal to 0, and we need to use zero product property. In other words, we set this expression equal to 0, and you set this expression equal to 0. You set all the multiplied terms, the ones in parentheses, not each individual one, the one in parentheses equal to 0. So we set x minus 2 equal to 0, and we get x equals 2. Simple. But this may not be so simple. We'll see. X squared minus 6x plus 13 equals 0. Now, of course, we could factor this, but there's only one problem. What are the factors of 13? Plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 13. But none of those factors, when added together, any combination, won't equal negative 6. So we need to use quadratic formula. So let's figure out what the parts are. A equals 1, B equals negative 6, and C equals 13. Now I assume most of you know the quadratic formula, but I'm just going to write out the general form anyway, because like I said in one of my other physics videos, it's always good to write out the general equation, because if you ever mess up, you can go back to this general equation and see where you messed up. So let's plug in what we got. We have x equals opposite of b, so 6 plus or minus square root 36 minus 4 times 1 times 13 all over 2a, which is 2. So I get, let's come here, so this is 6 plus or minus root negative 16 over 2. Now here's the deal. On a test or quiz or homework problem, if the book or teacher is asking for only real solutions, then this is your only real solution. Because if there is a negative number underneath the discriminant, remember the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, that part under the radical, that's called the discriminant. If there's a negative number underneath that, that means that there is going to be an imaginary solution. So now let's go forward from there. Now if your teacher or book wants both kinds of zeros, then go ahead and work through this. So negative 16. Well, that's 6 plus or minus, you take out an I, and then you make what's inside the radical positive, that's 16, over 2. What's the square root of 16? 4. So let's come up here. So we have 6 plus or minus 4i over 2. Now that's the answer, but you have to understand that you can simplify this. So when you're simplifying this, 6 by 2 and 4i by 2. So 3 plus or minus 2i. So those are two zeros actually, because it's plus or minus. So it's 3 plus 2i and 3 minus 2i. And x equals 2. And you can tell whether your answers make sense if you got 3 solutions, because like I said, according to the fundamental theorem of algebra, the degree of a polynomial tells you the number of zeros there are for that polynomial. Complex or real, doesn't matter. 2 zeros here and 1 here. So we have 3 zeros. So I hope part 2 has helped you, and I hope you guys understand now how to find the zeros of complex polynomial functions. If you have any questions, write on my channel.